If you're starting out, maybe you're looking for a travel guitar or shopping for your very first acoustic guitar that will not crush your wallet, today's guitar might already be in your Amazon shopping cart. But you might want to hold off clicking on that buy it now button until you watch today's video. We're going to break it down and see if this guitar is a solid buy or just another budget throwaway. Hey folks, welcome back to Addicted to Gear, where we get our hands dirty, we get a lot of cool guitars and gear, and kick the tires and give you the real scoop on each one of them. Today we're digging deep into the Vangoa Basic VG-1 guitar. It's a full-size dreadnought acoustic guitar that's been making rounds as a beginner-friendly bundle on Amazon. I'm sure you've probably seen these before. So today we're going to kick the tires on it. I'm going to give you my opinion and let you know exactly what I think. Now, the looks and styling of this guitar would make most beginner players quite happy, I think. But today we will dig a little deeper. We're going to give you the full scoop, including some sound samples, so you can decide if it's really the one for you and has the tone that you're looking for. So let's start off by talking about what you get out of the box. The VG-1 comes packaged as a full-on starter kit. What does that mean? It means you get a whole bunch of extra goodies, which is always great. It's like Christmas. So you get, obviously, a full-sized 41-inch dreadnought acoustic guitar with the cutaway, which is always convenient to get up to the higher frets, the money end of the fretboard, I like to call it. You also get a padded gig bag with a built-in neck cradle pad, which is always great, so you don't damage your guitar when you have it and you're moving it around. You get a clip-on tuner. That is a must if this guitar is intended for a beginner, maybe you or one of your kids or something like that. It's always a nice plus to have a tuner in there. You get a capo. You get a guitar strap, you get some picks, even extra strings. That's always great because I break them all the time. And you get a stick-on pickguard. I like that since not everyone likes the look of a pickguard on their guitars. Maybe you could think about it, you know, on, off, what do you prefer? We're all different. Plus you get a truss rod wrench, which you will need, and I'll explain that in a little bit more detail in a second. So pretty much everything you need or a beginner could need is included right out of the box. The accessories aren't just filler, in my opinion. Sometimes they are. In this case, they're quite usable. The gig bag itself is thick. It's better than most that I've tried at this price point. The strap is very usable and the tuner works fine. So you're off to the races with everything that you need. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes. Let's look at the guitar. Let's talk about the build quality. So build-wise, the guitar features a very nice spruce top with a laminated back and sides. Really nice in terms of the grain on this. It has a very nice matte finish, which feels very nice, very high-end in my opinion. Looks a lot more expensive than it is. Now, the inside of this guitar has a scalloped X bracing system or pattern for better response, and that's always nice to see. The neck on this guitar is a comfortable C-shaped neck. Feels really nice in the hands, and the tuners are 18:1 ratio tuning machines. They hold tuning very well. Once the new strings are stretched out a little bit, you know, give them time to settle, no issues there. Now, the fretboard on this guitar is made from what they call engineered wood. What does that mean? I'm not really sure. Sometimes they also refer to it as tech wood. They always come up with creative names, those marketing people. But basically what it is, it's a synthetic alternative and it's designed to mimic rosewood or walnut. It's basically more affordable, but it feels and looks nice. It's consistent under the fingers and will work perfectly fine for most beginner level guitar players. Most people won't even realize that it's not actual real wood, that it's engineered. So don't worry about it. So how does this guitar sound? Well, once properly set up, The VG-1 sounds pretty good, especially for a budget acoustic guitar. I heard really crisp highs, solid mid-range on this guitar, really nice low-end thump, not too much, thanks to the larger size dreadnought body. It doesn't sound like a shoebox, which is good because it's more than I can say for some other guitars that I've tried at this price point, trust me. I think the guitar is loud enough to project when you're playing alone, solo playing, or practicing. It holds its own for campfire jams or just songwriting sessions. Look, it's not a high-end guitar. You're not gonna want to throw away your Martin or your Taylor guitar, but it's definitely usable and musical for most common applications. Okay, so let's talk about the not so good aspects of this guitar, but still totally fixable. Okay, the truth is when I got this guitar, it needed some love out of the box, okay? When I got it and pulled it out, it arrived with the strings completely loose. The truss rod was basically set flat, meaning the neck had zero relief. So out of the box, that made the guitar definitely unplayable. If you would strum the guitar, all you would hear would be buzzing. So most people, especially newbies, would probably panic if they heard that. They're like, uh-oh, there's something wrong with this guitar. Now, that's not necessarily a flaw, guys. Keep it in mind. I just want to point this out because you might experience the same thing. Some manufacturers ship guitars like this on purpose, basically, to reduce the tension on the neck during shipping. It's actually a good protective measure to do this, but only if the buyer is aware and knows how to set up the guitar once they receive it. And to me, that's the issue here, because the guitar is marketed at beginners. In my opinion, most beginners won't know how to adjust a truss rod. They might just assume the guitar is defective and send it back right away, which is not necessarily a good thing for the buyer or the company. So it's unfortunate that this is what you get, because once I added some neck relief and tuned it up properly, it played surprisingly well. So this is why I want to point this out so you guys are not surprised or shocked. The fret ends, unfortunately, were sharp, which is not uncommon for guitars at this price point, but it was still uncomfortable until I addressed them and just filed them down a little bit. Now, the tops of the frets also felt a little rough when bending the strings. I don't know if you can hear this, but can you hear that? Now, maybe most beginners won't be necessarily bending strings on their acoustic guitars all that much at first, but smooth frets are a must in my book. So I have to recommend that the folks over at Vangoa take better care of this with a simple fret polish and proper edge dressing. It does make a huge difference. Now, these frets are also the typical thin frets that you see on most budget overseas guitars. They're fine for beginners, but they do wear faster than the medium jumbos or, you know, the more substantial frets. So if you're used to modern electric guitars and then go to this guitar, you will notice a difference. They still work. They work fine for basic chord work and light acoustic playing, but I just want to point that out. Now, as for the overall materials, the nut and the bridge saddle on this guitar are plastic. So are the tuner keys right over here. They will do the job. The tuners held tune nicely after we gave the strings a nice little stretch. Just gave it a chance to break in a little bit, so can't complain. 18:1 ratio. But if you're someone who likes to upgrade your guitars over time, swapping the nut and maybe the saddle for bone or perhaps Graph Tech could give you a nice tonal bump later on if you choose to do that. Now, being the picky player that I am, I went ahead and I lowered the action on the bridge just a little bit, just lowered the height to suit my own playing preferences. And if that sounds like something that you'll want to do, I actually put together a separate video showing exactly how I did that. And I walk you through it with all the steps involved and a really handy tool that makes the process quick and clean. So if you think you might be tackling that in the future, then check out that video. If you're interested in customizing your own setup, it's a must watch. I'll put the link right here. So guys, what's my final verdict? Is this guitar worth it? Should you click that buy it now button or just skip the guitar altogether? Well, here's my advice. If you're willing and able to give this guitar a basic setup, or perhaps take it to a local tech for a quick tune-up, I think the Vangoa Basic VG-1 guitar is a solid starter guitar. It offers a lot of great features, some really nice sound, and it looks great, and it doesn't break the bank. It's not gonna cost you too much money, so you can't really fault it all that much. While it's not perfect out of the box, it can be made to play and sound very good with a little basic TLC. So if you're just starting out or you're buying it for someone who is, this is a great introduction to the world of acoustic guitar without the sticker shock. As always, guys, if you've tried this guitar or have questions about it, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you're interested in buying one for yourself, I've placed a convenient link to it in my comments below, so you don't have to search the internet. Just read the comments. It's in there. Just click on it and you can buy it for yourself. We have a collection of over 700 videos right now for your viewing pleasure. I'm sure you'll find one or two that you'll like. So don't overlook them. They're all available for you and they're free. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more honest hands-on reviews right here on Addicted to Gear. Until next time, guys, you know what to do. Play more, stress less, and enjoy your gear.